GLK Foods has a very rich history. So few companies have remained family-owned for 4 generations, and I'm proud and frankly honored to be a part of this legacy. I'm 4th generation. It was founded by my great-grandfather, one of the Flanagan brothers. Our history is in innovating and creating new ways to do this thing that's been done forever. Sauerkraut's been around since the time of Genghis Khan. We've just exhibited a willingness to dominate something that a lot of people probably wouldn't want to waste their time with, which is sauerkraut. So something where GLK Foods is very fortunate is that the more we learn about our product, the healthier we find out it is for people. With sauerkraut, probiotics are becoming a very big, I'd say it's beyond a trend in that the medical field is responding hugely to this, and they think it can reduce inflammation in the body, which is exciting for us. So, a product that's been around for ages, now as it turns out is one of the healthiest things you can eat, and that's very exciting for us. Yeah, we're coming into Shyachtun here. This is actually where my mom grew up. And it's not far from Bear Creek, which is where my father grew up. So the corridor between Shyachtun, Wisconsin and Bear Creek, Wisconsin is actually just about where the glacier stopped eons ago. It's kind of a sandy loam soil, drains relatively well. In most areas there's not too much clay, but it's some of the most fertile cabbage growing ground in the world. The cabbage that we grow for the sauerkraut business is much different than what you'd see on a regular produce shelf in your supermarket, because it doesn't matter really what their appearance is, because they're going to be sliced up. They'll be larger than a basketball, and they can weigh 20 pounds a head.
You look at the sugar content and vitamin C content, everything, because it's got to be just so to make good sauerkraut. If you're lacking sugars, you won't get a good fermentation. If you're lacking vitamin C, the appearance, the color won't be good. We've got growers that are absolutely excellent, and they take good care of us, and we take good care of them. It works out pretty well.
My grandfather, had grown cabbage for Great Lakes Kraut. My uncles all grew it for them as well, and my dad. We've got a beautiful crop of cabbage this year. Oh, it's amazing. Our goal is to plant 25 acres a day. We put in about 10,600 plants per acre. We're hoping to have standing, when the crop is standing, about 8,000 plants. And I guess our goal is to be done by, say, the middle of June. So then once we get that planted, then our hope is to start harvesting the cabbage by Labor Day.
All the cabbage that you'll see today is for GLK Foods. It ends up being sauerkraut. Something that people are looking for in the U.S. now is a very clean ingredient panel, and that's something that we offer, which is nice. It's, sauerkraut is cabbage and salt. That's all there is to it, and the salt isn't even really necessary in the final product. The salt is only there to hold over the cabbage so that it doesn't rot until the fermentation process begins. And that's why you can also rinse the sauerkraut after it's become kraut in a colander at home and get rid of a lot of the sodium content. Our facilities at GLK Foods produce more sauerkraut than all of Western Europe combined. There are some smaller players over there, and there's a lot of them, but even in the aggregate, we produce more than them, which is kind of exciting, and it's something we like to beat our chests about. It's a big differentiator for GLK Foods that we have just the breadth of packaging capabilities and the channel breadth. We have a far reach in the world of sauerkraut, and we're trying to take that to other niche product lines, and I think we will. We just walk together and look and see what we see, and sometimes he's explaining to me the way that things used to be done, or his opinion on how we could improve something, and it's very valuable to me to have a set of eyes that's been around for as long as he has.
7.5 ton, and that really worked good. We could raise the hoist and dump it off the wagons. And wagons were so easy to throw it on by hand them days.
We appreciated what he was doing for the farmers, and we produced cabbage for a lot. At one time, we were the second largest producer of cabbage.
It just was a small community, and everybody knew one another, respected one another, got along, and most of the people at one time or another, even if it was part-time, worked for us.
A lot of the farmers that we've been, contract growers for us for literally generations, live right in this area, and actually some are I'm related to.
Our family's been raising cabbage for long as I can remember. when he was in the fertilizer plant, he helped all the farmers, you know, with their fertilizing and the rates and the weed control and everything. And then
we used to have to cut it all by hand, and everything was all done by hand. Now it's done with machine. And there used to be a lot of cabbage growers, you know, like I want to say 20 cabbage growers or 30 maybe. Now it's down to like 5 or 6 growers.
every year we come across a situation that, you know, throws a hammer at us, and you got to duck and try to figure out, you know, what you're going to do. And you can schedule all you want in the winter. You know, I'm going to do this with this field, and then come May 1st, Mother Nature, you know, makes you turn your whole program around. So that was one thing I picked up. You know, it's do a little better job than your neighbor, and then pray on Sunday your neighbor has a good crop.
Our growers would point to us as a reason why they've been successful, and we've been there in good times and lean times, and you know, they grow other crops, but cabbage for them has always been kind of a mainstay, and they know that they've got GLK Foods right down the block. We couldn't do it all without these guys, so it's been a great partnership through the years.